Hello everyone, this is Fantastic Worlds looking back to Lovecraft Country and the Secret World Interludes, and today we'll be dealing with the last part of Egypt, the part that's a little less Hollywood and a little more cosmic horror. But in any case, let's start where we are right now. Right now we're between the tourist temple and the Hotel Wahid over here, this little side road. As you can see on the right over here, there's a hydroelectric dam, which is kind of being used for by the cultists for mysterious reasons. We go over that in a mission, so I'm not going to go too much about that. There's nothing too terribly interesting, except, of course, for the golem. But there's another golem over here, and this particular golem tends to have what I would call an odd backstory. Now, it's not a hostile one. It's made of sand, obviously, but it's the Oxford Battle Golem, which means that it's being controlled, and it's green, which means controlled by an ally. And here are the allies, the Oxford Expedition, Egypt Expedition Camp, which, as you can see, has seen better days. And its two proprietors.
Visitors are always welcome.
Thank you. Mr. Delaroche and his companion Arno Singh, which are the only two remaining members, or possibly only two members, period, of the Oxford Egyptian Expedition. Now, this one, let me get off the bike. This one kind of always, yeah, of course, made it kind of odd, because it's kind of a mixture of the 19th century aesthetic, especially their outfit.
Oh, mind your feet.
Yes, there could be the occasional undead body under there. But yeah, the place has been trashed, but a lot of this technology is the 19th century, which in 2012 is kind of odd. Yeah, some notes, ancient seismograph, some basic camp gear, not much of it remains,
Non-homicidal visitors are always welcome.
As well as a pump-o-matic, which is, by the way, used by archaeologists in order to be able to remove water from subterranean areas, because if you dig below the water table in a tomb, then it gets flooded. The water table shifts over centuries, but we should get to know the LaRoches.
Welcome. Sorry about the mess.
Mr. LaRoche and Mr. Song. And these two are a couple, by the way, so, you know, representation. Anyways, so let's ask them what they're doing here, shall we? Now, this is going to be a little odd, because both of them are going to respond and there's no subtitles. Apologize for those who have difficulty hearing.
I'm the hot young Turk. He's the stuffy old professor. No, wait a minute. He's getting to me.
You see how a wit like this is wasted on Oxford. Monty likes to think of himself as a dry old scholar, but you don't learn swordsmanship like that in fencing class.
You do.
I did, actually. Though I've had my scrapes with the Raman Uncanny. Considerably more of them since being paired with Dr. Singh here.
The only way to experience occult history is to go out there and get stuck into it, don't you agree?
Or stuck by it.
Templars, Illuminati, whatever you are, no offense, you're very hands-on.
Aram, like you, is of the new breed, the go-getters. I'm afraid I'm a holdover from the past, when the secret world stayed politely secret.
Monty, you know I hate it when you depress yourself.
My boy, we were fusty custodians then. We would deny the truth rather than have it contradict hundreds of years of utterly dreary research.
Right, there's a good point there. There's a kind of a transition after the apocalypse started, this point last year, which the secret world's kind of, kind of getting a little too noisy because, you know, apocalypse. But he's upset because he's the old time when people politely just discuss their membership with the Order of the Golden Dawn or the cults they attended. You know, be quiet behind the scenes. You didn't want to make a fuss.
We were lucky to get funding for this expedition. Egyptology is a sore topic back at Lazarus College.
Oh, hell yes.
I have a feeling current events shan't endear us to the funding committee.
It's not just the money involved in paying off the kingdom. It's that the kingdom exists at all. What point is there spending months sifting through the detritus of the 19th dynasty if you can just take them out to a boozer and ask them face to face?
They do love to put us in our place. To recall the mummy Al-Fayed on the Rosetta Stone, an impressive effort, but totally wrong. As sweet as clotted cream, as crushing as a cave-in.
I tell you this much, Monty. If we survive this mess, there's a case to be made for major holes in the kingdom's recollection of history. I knew they were looking shifty, even for walking corpses.
It's true. The dash thing about unspeakable evils is how reticent people are to mention them.
that's why they're unspeakable. But yes, the kingdom obviously would have much information. But if we dealt with Saeed at the last episode, yeah, and the missions, he doesn't actually remember that much. I mean, it's been thousands of years, and all this information, there's only so much information a mind can hold. And one thing that a recent Doctor Who series episodes went over, how an immortal would have to lose memories to gain new ones. They live kind of in a continuous now. And, yeah, the fact is these guys are going for the hard evidence rather than their word, which I approve of, by the way.
We've been out here on site for a month or so now. It was a nice little retreat until the paramilitary showed up.
Then came the earthquake.
The cult uprising, the ghouls, the giant insects, the sand demons.
Yeah.
The rain of fire, which, even being versed in occult catastrophes, I thought was a bit much.
True.
So we're a little out of touch with global events. Don't tell us, though. I love surprises.
I expect we're in for a trying year. I don't mean to gossip, but there's already been trouble in Oxford. Information wants to be free. Isn't that the charmingly naive saying?
Yes.
Well, the kind of information Lazarus College owns is capable of making its own prison break.
They closed off half the catacombs to stop it leaking out. I heard one grimoire made it as far as the hedge maze.
I shouldn't think it would be anything for you to concern yourself with, though. Oxford hasn't called upon the societies for aid since 1096.
Yes. How much trouble can postgraduate students, homunculi, and books-bounding pickled skin be?
You should see what Instant Academy looks like right now. But yeah, this world, the Oxford College is very magic aware, magic using, very quietly, of course. Because, of course, they've been learning all of this stuff, stealing. That's how it's a sensitive subject in the real world. Yeah, Egypt's past is in British museums, and really, some Egyptians are not too happy about that. Other countries too, of course. But given the chaos in the area, I'm not entirely sure that they're not safer where they are right now. It's one of those devil if you do, devil if you don't. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Anyways, let's see what this particular topic has to say about him.
The hot young Turk and I have differing opinions on
Now we have subtitles?
so-called prophecy.
Okay.
Monument 6 does hint at certain scenarios, but there's no hard evidence of... Well, except for those looted glyphs Aaron claims to have seen in the forests of South America. The inscription apparently completed the Mayan prophecy and clarified the coming of Bolun Yokteku.
Who I don't know, unfortunately.
An absolutely astonishing would-be discovery. But do remind us, Aaron, the reason you weren't able to adequately record or recover this fascinating monument. Mayan zombies, was it?
Yeah. There are problems with being archaeology in a world with cosmic horror, is that they're really poking into places you shouldn't be. And give me a second and I'll pop over into the next section, and we'll start moving into this larger basin here. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, so let's go check out this minor Valley of Kings. We'll start over here with the original Oxford dig. Now, Monty and his companion have retreated from what essentially is a mass uprising of the dead that occurred recently while the cultist activity came in. Apparently, the Black Pharaoh sent his forces in here to just desecrate everything he could find, and all of the undead are rising to his call, so it became rather unhealthy to become an archaeologist in this time. But as you can see, he left all the abandoned equipment and tools here, and given the size and scope of this can't have just been these two guys doing it all. Obviously, they had a worker crew who abandoned them in the middle of the fight. I mean, frankly, I don't think they're... This actually is... I mean, we all think about the tombs being these lavish constructions inside pyramids, and most tombs are just this. They're dug out in the bottom, carved into the side of the rock, and they carve out a few rooms in there. So that's where you're going to find your bread and butter archaeology for Egypt. But over here we have, of course, the larger intact ruins. We've got the twin goddess statues here, which probably is Isis, could be Nut. I'm not big on Egyptian deities, unfortunately. And over here is the ghoul-infested primary tomb. And we actually go in there during one mission in our attempts to locate the entrance to the Egyptian underworld and how to get through it. But here's the primary dig, the one they've been doing through the Temple of the Sentinels. Now the Sentinels are something where you run across over the next level, but here are some of the... Oh, hi. Apparently it's open for tourism. These are the statues that correspond to the gods that the 7 spirits guarding the Black Pharaoh Akhenaten represent. Now, I'll go over more about the fact that Black Pharaoh is an actual person in history. Ooh, it didn't end well for you. He must have been one of the workers. And as you can see, the ghouls have decided to pick through the bodies. Yeah, they are the ones that prevent Akhenaten from rising, and their power is waning, which is why the dead are rising, the ghouls are out and about. Dude, I don't have any food on me, I'm sorry. Now, in universe, I like to say the ghouls aren't bothering me because they don't recognize me as meat, as a spirit encased in anima. I simply don't seem tasty to them. Yeah, you guys had some bad days. But if we go further to the west here, we can see that there is another set of tombs over here, infested by locusts. Oops, no, this isn't the tombs. This is the... Yeah, one thing about the desert locations is they get wilder the harder to navigate, but this is the Oriachi crash site. As you can see, the cockpit is... I've still got an active flight report as part of the mission, but most importantly is that the Oriachi continues their safety record of blowing everything they have up and getting all their people killed. Let's see. It's drone, final destination. The drone shut down and reached the crashed airplane. Occasional beep indicates the instructions left to anything Oriachi interested in with cautious investigation. And have I done this one? Let me double check this. Achievements. Nah, we'll do that later. Anyways, let's see. Which direction can we go in from here? Now, yeah, the area I was thinking of. Ooh. I wonder. Is this drone going to lead me over to that section, or is it going to lead me over to the drill site? Go for it. I'm actually going to do this. Sorry if it goes that. If it's a real issue, I'll just cut it out. But yeah, I sometimes like these little drone battles. Dude, go somewhere. If you're just going to buzz around, I am definitely leaving you here. So it appears to be heading over to the drill site. In the meantime, let's see. This area? Over here on the left, I think. This area. This is probably the original destination of the drone. And the airplane, of course. So I've never quite figured out what the Oriachi drones are supposed to be doing here. I mean, here, the marker of the Red Knights is yet another tomb. As you can see, these are cliffside tombs dug in the sides of the cliff rather than underground, which is slightly easier but more likely to be looted, as they have been by Oriachi. Oriachi? Anyways, yes, and there's a particularly strange tower defense mission here I don't know if I did that one. I don't think it's actually worth doing. It's kind of interesting where the undead just come in and try to destroy that thing and you have to stop them. It could be amusing, especially if you're going for a kill count. Oh, there we go. Lag there for a second. Sorry, the servers are having issues, but yeah, yet another set of mysterious tombs set behind for us to play in. But in any case, what must have happened is this was the resupply. And it's probably brought down by giant locusts this was coming in, although this is kind of odd they would use a vehicle this large with... I mean, planes like this require a landing strip. Oh, excuse me. Oh, right. Oh, I suppose I should do something about this. I'm not using my standard Magus set. Okay. Yeah, you were heading in that direction. Okay, you just keep going there, dude. Alright. Locusts are probably among the most disgusting enemies we have here, but oh my god, they're nothing compared to the fungus later on. But in any case, as we continue westward. No, I'm fine with that. More of the ruins. Now this area right here begins to resemble an actual necropolis, a place where the Egyptians came to on a regular basis to worship their dead. Similar to the Aztecs, how they believed the dead needed to be tended to because how their body was in this side is affected how they felt on the other side. So the longer they kept it preserved, they send over servants, they mummify their pets for them, etc., etc. I mean, seriously, there was more self-care going in after the death than it was life. Now over there are that's the layer, unfortunately. Now this section has got the lavish well, Hollywood-esque, of course, but the fact is that, yeah, the Egyptians did build stuff this crazy. I mean, hundreds of thousands of slaves die so they can have their vanity projects here extending from one end to the other. But over there is the temple that, the largest section of the temple that we have during the mission, which should be when I reorganize this the next episode. We go more into detail about what's over there. The, how do they call it? The Big Awful Truth, I think is the name of the mission. And as you can see, this is the entrance to the necropolis and the larger temple. And more importantly, however, we go over to our interlopers, the Oriochi Corporation, yet again poking their nose in a filth-ridden place and unleashing unholy terrors. Now, give me a moment. I'm going to speak to the survivors of the expedition's commander, Lisa Hugh. Give me a second. Need to make a quick adjustment. Okay, so let's get the skinny from Lisa Hugh, who went down here at the Orochi Corporation's drill site. Now, they're not drilling for oil, they're drilling for filth, which, frankly, considering you can just scoop it up on Solomon Island, it doesn't seem like this should be investing multi-billion dollars. Maybe, however, there's a bigger plan to this. Let's see what you got to say, Ms. Hugh. Hugh?
I'm just a soldier. I'm nobody important, same as my crew. We go where they tell us to go, we follow orders. We shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it doesn't make you a soldier, that makes you an enforcer.
Don't get me wrong. Working for Orochi's the best job I've ever had. Well, it was. There's nothing best about it now.
No, they don't mention this part in the recruitment.
Thing is, this detail, security for the Prometheus Initiative, always felt vague. Like there was something going on that we weren't privy to. It's not unusual. We're just tin soldiers lined up in a row to protect VIP personnel, but you couldn't help but overhear things. The whispered conversations, the covert messages, the looks they gave us like we were just in the way. Vague isn't the right word. Rotten. It felt rotten.
Yeah, I can go with that too. The thing about Oriochi and other organizations, they consider people at this level to be disposable. So they don't even inform you, they just send you out to die. Which a lot of people in Oriochi do. Seems to be the retirement plan.
I don't know what to tell you. Orochi isn't a bad place to work. Not at all. The pay is good, the benefits better, the food is spectacular. Of course, down here, we've been working with the Prometheus Initiative. Still Orochi, but not quite. Like one of those bastard familiars going through the motions, pretending to be human. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It makes like this place is actually unethical for Oriochi.
It makes no sense to me either. I don't know what it is about this assignment, but I had a bad feeling from the start.
Okay.
You folks seem to be okay. I don't have a beef with any of you. Don't get me wrong, but we're not best buds.
Right, we happen to be working for two organizations that at the moment are not at war, but later on, Oriochi folks just continue to betray me and I get more irritated. That crack about the food, remember that in months to come.
My guys here, they're the ones I'm responsible for. Their lives are in my hands, so I'm going to do what needs doing to keep them safe.
Right, she's an NCO, not commissioned officer, which means that taking care of her people is her primary job. She receives orders from officers, but cut off from officers, all she's going to do is try to stay alive as long as possible.
Everyone else in this hellhole can go to, well, hell. I don't trust anyone. I've seen this old guy in rags. Don't trust him. Those Brit archaeologists, don't trust them neither.
Kaleem? You don't trust Kaleem? He's freaking Gandalf. Come on. And he was trying to help you? Yeah, the Brits? Well, technically, yes. A lot of times expeditions, especially academic ones, will have infiltrators in the intelligence organization. So, that cheerful guy, in the committee who just likes to talk about things and get you to talk about himself, yeah, maybe he's collecting info on you.
And no one from the village, that's for sure.
No,
Who
fuck
knows what
them.
kind of agenda they have. Better safe than sorry, I say.
Yeah, but you have zero resupply here. I mean, eventually the ammunition's going to run out. We keep getting stuff for you here in one of the missions, but that's the problem. It's just, there's a limited amount here. All right, let's see what you think about the secret world.
One of the first things they teach you when you get hired at Orochi is that everything is true.
Tagline.
Everything. Ghosts? Check. Vampires? Uh-huh. Zombies? Oh, you betcha. They didn't say anything about mummies, but, mummies.
Mummies tend to get overlooked in the whole horror pantheon. I mean, the original Mummy film with Boris Karloff is fantastic. I mean, the rest of them are kind of idiotic, but don't get me talking about the cruise one.
They try to teach you simple magics, the kind that us normals can do without your DNA. None of the fancy stuff. But I never had the knack for it. I can maybe infuse a bullet with some intelligence, get it to go for the brainstem, but that's it.
That's not a bad ability. Smart, magically smart ammunition.
And you know what? Once I found out about the secret world, it made sense. Everything finally made sense. I'm happy with that.
Welcome to the insanity.
Look, I don't care about the clubs that you people belong to. Your little all smiles above the table, drawn knives beneath
That's a
blah
quote
blah amateur drama. It really is sort of silly, don't you think? And the way you guys have rules of engagement for your so-called secret war. I don't know. Boys will be boys, and girls, well, they'll do whatever the boys tell them to do, I guess.
Yeah, there's the thing about that. She might think it's ridiculous, but if there were no rules of engagement, if there was no scorekeeping method, we'd have factions would have totally wiped out the world by now. In fact, the fact that the rules are falling apart, and the fact that Oriachi doesn't abide by them, one of the reasons why everything's falling apart. Much as you hate to say it, civilization exists to keep our baser instincts in check, and without it, well, we just tear everything apart.
The YouTube videos are hilarious. We used to watch them in the rec room during lunch back at HQ. And laugh.
Are you watching my series?
You ever hear about live-action role-playing? That's you guys. To a T.
Okay, we're no longer friends. God damn you, calling me a LARPer. Anyways.
See you later.
Anyways, let's pop over. This is the line in the sand here where, excuse me, where they're holding off the occasional expedition from the Ankh-Dug site. Let's get into that. Now, she's over there at a remote post, but originally the Oriachi forces were here, and as you can see, once they're infected by filth, they still retain their same orders, but they're doing it for different reasons. You see, they still have all the intellect and skills that they had when they were alive, or whatever the state is here compared to what they were before, but they're doing it on the filth's orders. Now, if the filth doesn't give them any particular orders, they just tend to do the same thing. They run around in a vague approximation of their original life, and they try to infect people. Now, again, it's the game's mechanics where, as I'm too high a level, and these guys are considered trash mobs and won't attack me. But in the real world, they're just kind of, the in-universe, the real world. In-universe, they're just kind of, don't have any orders to do anything with me. They just, I'm not a human being, I don't carry the filth, and yeah, that's about it. But this is the Ankh-Dig site. I do like the fact the automated messages are still going on. But as you can see, it is drilling into the ground for miles to get to what's called the Ankh, a facility down below that contains massive amounts of filth. As you can see, the filth is coming up since they breached it, which I have no idea why they wanted to breach it. But they are, of course, the mad scientists in view, and this is their experimental section up here. This is tucked away from west of the grunts that we were dealing with, like Lisa. And here is the position where, well, these are the failed experiments.
Why is no one answering?
Because they're all infected or dead. And as you can see, the good Dr. Shiru here, who is probably the psychopath, most psychopathic of the monsters, has been putting people to isolation, infecting them with filth, and see what they can do with them.
All sites are requested to report their status.
What's interesting is that when you actually try to get into the communication system in immersion, what happens is that you find out the entire system is infected by let's call it an intelligence. So, I don't even know what the automated system must be a local network. But yeah, this guy's just dead. You're probably better off more than anybody else. Orochi does have some stylish uniforms. But, as you can see, what's really interesting is that, as terrifying, you think that this place is contained, they've got a helicopter. In fact, in immersion, they use it, because all these guys still have their goddamn skills. So yeah, at any time they could be flying out thousands of barrels of filth and dropping it over the village, and nobody's actually thought about that one. Nobody has a rocket launcher over at the youth thing, and Oriachi's just letting this place burn. Now, when we finish the Egyptian series, I'm going to assume carpet bomb the goddamn place and collapse it with seismic charges so that, the good doctor and his undead kaiju under our feet don't get out, as well as, the hundreds of thousands of barrels of filth. But, yeah, they never really explicitly say that. Now, let's head over to the Prometheus Initiative itself. Now, this is the extraction facility for filth. Am I going the right way? Hang on a second. I think I took a wrong turn there. But yeah, this is the extraction facility filth. That's the processing. Now, the Sequoia, which is the Oriachi corporations that's devoted to, and, well, the equivalent of Mobile Exxon, I guess. Eesh. Sorry about this. That's the thing about the desert terrain. It's just so similar that I can get turned around so quickly. But yeah, then they're trying to refine filth into fuel, which doesn't make any sense. It's an extra-dimensional virus, which means I took a wrong turn here somewhere. Hang on, I'm just going to pour it out. Oy. Okay, so here we are back at Hugh's little nest, where she's deciding to do her last stand, because Oriachi is not coming to save you people, and I am less than inclined to. But over on the right, if you take this direction, you end up in the Black Dredge. Now, this is the refinement facility. As you can see, they have the storage tanks for the filth, which are currently leaking into a small puddle here. Well, not that small. As well as what they did is they took one of the original refinement facilities, the same that we saw last Interlude, where the being controlled by the cultists, and reconfigured it. Oh god, landmines. Yeah, I forgot about those. I should probably just try to be more careful. Okay. Just glad I regenerate. This place, I hate this place. Okay. Well, normally I'd be missing my legs, but, hey. Not human. And this is their security tent over here. But as you can see, the facility was supposed to be designed to refine the filth, place it into storage for probable transport. And as they're transporting it as oil, of course, and it looks kind of like oil, it kind of gets slipped right through. Now we're worried about the cultists trying to have poisoned dates, into the market in Egypt. And these guys are Oriachi is trying to. Oh, dynamite! Why can't I get some of that? Scotch. I'm not going to drink anything around here. First aid kit, dead guy, and the last message is, I suppose, his daughter's birth date. The fact that this laptop battery just goes on forever. Anyways, no, and they're just going to try to bring it out by the metric hectaton. The hectaton is a thing. And as you can see, the survivors, if you can call it that, of the Oriachi experiment here now. So the thing is, if you read through the messages and run through the mission here, you realize that what happened is the filth infected the scientists in charge, and they used the whole fascist, mentality of a... Okay, I'm just going to cut through the center here. If I get filthy, I get filthy. God, I just don't want it. Yeah, I got filthy, but landmines. I'm one of the few life forms that can actually resist filth infection. Containment doesn't work, as Oriachi's been proving constantly. But yeah, these guys are screwed. I mean, the upper levels got infected, and Lisa believes it was rotten. It's not just Oriachi. What happened is that the command structure got infected. The first guy, one of the evil scientists, infected all the other ones, and they ran the entire place to create this breach, and these being the 8 only survivors for now. They'll go down eventually, but remember, we've got the time window effect going on here, whereas we are always come back at the same moment, just before they're overrun, and time moves forward after we leave and continue the main mission. Finish the main mission here. My guess is they all get killed in the carpet bombing, because nobody's pulling these guys out. So Lisa, you're gonna regret that you were rude to me. Anyways, so that's for this section here. Now next I'm going to check out the entrance to the underworld. Hang on. Okay, so if you remember over by the Oxford camp back there, there's these 2 guardian statues here that bring us over to the way to Atan, the outer complex. In other words, this structure here, leads to the inner complex, which then leads to the underworld. Now, in the actual game itself, you get into a really big fight with this thing, and then it involves jumping around the tops of these with teleporters. We've already been through that. But in any case, what I'm going to do is just actually skip for the other side of that door. Can we actually get past it now? You're just chilling? Yeah, for the thing... Oh, I found more. Didn't even know you were there. Alright. Temple City Discovery. Hey, we got most of this. Alright. So in any case, when you get to the other side of that, you get to the inner complex. Now, the easiest way to get around that without having to reactivate everything and be annoying is just to animal leap, which is what I'm going to do next. And this thing, I hate this thing. Okay, so we popped over to the, what I like to call the opposite oasis. This one over here, if you're looking down below, you'll see the outer complex, but if you run over to this side, you'll note that we're just above the Oxford Major Dig Site, the abandoned one with the mummies. Now, when the energy's up here of Atan soaked down to the bottom level, that's what caused all the mummies to come out and drive the duo back to their base camp. But let's go see how the cultists have done with the place. Now, this section's kind of interesting. It's the way to Atan, and these cultists are guarding it, but it's not filth infected. You figure they'd just be chilling in like a pool of filth or something. But no, they're okay. They're doing their thing. And as you can see, excuse me, bud. They've got the This is the inner complex. This is the one where they're being guarded. It is currently being held by the forces of
Special
time, called the
assignment
Teeth
received.
of the Wind.
Initializing.
Where living servants are over here, and the undead servants of Atan here. And as you can see, the mummies, as we'll find out from Emir, are completely mad, being controlled by the more sentient ones that still retain magic and some identity, I guess. The ones that are more useful for Atan. And they're, like I said, just massing and guarding the place. They're, again, due to the fact that they're considered trash mobs to me at this point, they aren't bothering me. But here we are. As you can see, this is the entrance to the... Excuse me, sir. I thought we had a truce going on here. Ugh. Sometimes people just get bushy. Nameless Pharaoh? Dude. Get a name. Still coming?
Local bounty detected. Initiated.
Dude. I'm terribly sorry about this. I'm gonna take care of it. Thank you. Anyways, as you can see, this is the likeness of Akatan, and you can see he has tentacles coming out of his mouth, which gives us a Cthulhian look to him, which means that he was way not human by the time that he was being locked away. Now, the real Akatan is just a jerk who tried to replace his entire religious caste with a singular deity that was, of course, modeled on him because he wanted to take power away from the priestly caste, which was the bureaucracy running the empire, and give himself to become a tyrant, which is becoming a unfortunate reality here. But as you can see, the cultists are currently guarding the place, but there's a bit of a problem here in that, yeah, the entrance is kind of disputed. Now remember those flame strikes coming down, the biblical wraths of fire? They opened gates to the fire realm of the Ifrit. Now the Ifrit are serving the dark gods at this time. Oh, ow, 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 ow. But the cultists didn't get the memo, and the Hellspawn have decided to crawl out from the breach, and it just gets messy from beyond this point. So the entire structure for the entrance has been compromised, and currently the Ifrit are guarding the entrance from the cultists without really needing to. I mean, it's one of those odd circumstances where you get the two sides of the fight, the enemy fighting each other, and I'm just sitting back and watching because I'm not getting involved in this crap. And as you can see, this is the entrance to the Egyptian underworld, the city of the sun god. Now, the city of the sun god, hang on a second. The city of the sun god is an actual place that existed in reality. Akatan attempted to build a city out in the middle of the desert and say this is the new headquarters of our entire nation, and all of the priestly stuff that we had before, you know, the traditional power structures are meaningless, and it didn't work out in the end. He essentially never got it fully built, was betrayed, killed, his kid, you know, Tutankhamun, got the throne afterwards, and, you know, the system always wins. The house always wins. Just get used to that fact. But the thing is, when this universe, the city of the sun god was dedicated to the dreamers, was going to become a structure of a new evil empire where they corrupted the world, and in the end they sunk it into the underworld, which is going to be the next interlude. Well, not no, that'll be the second next interlude coming up. Next one, because I got to reposition these to put them back in temporal order, will be the big terrible truth. Now, if you haven't seen that one, hey, stick around, you might like it. It actually goes into the structures of the primary temple that I skipped over this time, and of course the mysterious secrets of the ages. Yeah, it totally explains the entire backstory if you're interested. Anyways, that will be posted as the next episode, even though I've already done it. Wibbly wobbly timey wimey. And yeah, this has been Fantastic World saying farewell from Secret World Interludes and Lovecraft Country, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked it, like, share, and subscribe. If you really like it, I've got links down below to the Gumroad payment platform, where you can help support this channel on a $2 donation per month to get you early access. So until next time, this is Fantastic World saying farewell.
You will see the dawning of a new age. To be a monarch or a beggar. To lose everything or to become a god. To stand with us or against us. The choice is yours.